It is the Riot Podcast, the Friday, April 14th edition. You guys got any big plans with the weekend coming up?
I hope the plans involve you resting. It just is more about you.
I don't know why you're so worried about me.
Well, your cough has seemed excessively worse this morning, but you sound better, so I don't know.
We're not worried about you. We don't want to get sick.
We've been working together the entire week.
Exactly.
It's too late now.
And the longer that you're sick, the more prevalent it is that I'm going to get sick at some point.
So I think maybe, how about this? All of us rest this weekend and try not to do too much.
Yeah.
You guys are making me want to come in sick on Monday.
No.
And get us sick?
Yeah.
What a terrible thing to say.
Me feel so bad about it.
What a terrible thing to say.
I might go see John Wick tonight. I'm not sure.
Good movie.
We'll see if that happens, but hopefully not too much this weekend.
Isaiah saw it. I don't think you ever got to give your review.
I thought it was good. A little intense. Saw it with my fam. There were some scenes in it I had to close the eyes.
You have to close your mom's eyes.
Yeah, I was sitting next to my mom, and there were some scenes that we were simultaneously covering eyes, looking away, shuddering in disgust. But it was a good movie, though.
Nice.
Thanks for that review.
Anybody want to know what I'm doing this weekend?
Yeah, I asked.
I'm traveling this weekend.
Where are you going to go?
I'm not going to say. I don't want people to follow me around, but I am going out of town this weekend, and it'll be real exciting.
Okay.
Ooh.
It'll be a grand old time. I don't want people to try to scout me out. I will be in a nearby city.
Are you going
Okay.
to tell us after on Monday? When
I don't want you to follow me.
I said
want you to follow me.
after. Are you going to tell us like when you come back?
On Monday.
Yeah, you're going to give us a review, or is it just going to be...
It's not reviewable. It's not a review-worthy city. You know, like there's certain
Let's
cities.
just see if something happens. You're going to Indianapolis then?
No.
No? Cleveland?
I wish. Oh, I wish I was going to Cleveland. The Cavs play tomorrow.
Pittsburgh?
That was going to
No.
Cincinnati.
I'm going to
Oh,
Cincinnati.
okay, you're gonna
I'm
see-
going to visit my brother.
Yeah, that's good.
Because he goes to UC and his semester's almost over. And I'm going to go see him and hang out with him before the school year ends.
Can't wait to...
You should have
find-
waited, because then when he's done with his semester, you got to drive him back with all of his stuff probably. So.
Yeah. But I want to go down when he's like, because next weekend he's got like finals and stuff. He's going to be stressed. I don't know. But he said this weekend would be better for us to hang out and whatnot. I won't be eating any chili, if you're wondering. Not a Skyline chili fan.
Well, that'd be fun. If anything does fun happen, let us know.
I can only hope so.
I can't wait for all the people that are going to try to find you now.
I know. Gosh darn it. Now people are going to be ready
You
to
didn't
see
just
me in
give out the
Cincinnati.
city. You gave out like the location in the city, a vague location.
Yeah, I did. I forget what the little
Well, no, it
town's
just
called.
means that like town officials will be there to give you the key to the city
sure.
and welcome you with gift cards.
See, I'm
and-
just thinking I'm going to walk through Kroger, and now people are going to be on high alert like I could possibly see Isaiah at Kroger this weekend.
just make sure if you ever see Isaiah in public, just make sure you say hi.
What a fun
Say
little
hello.
treat for our Cincinnati listeners.
be
I know,
nice.
right? Maybe you can find
him
me,
then.
hide and seek.
Are you going to do anything fun besides resting, Hudson?
I don't have anything specific planned. I had a pretty busy weekend last weekend, so this weekend will just be, we'll see what happens. You know what? It's finally warmed up enough. I got to mow the lawn.
No, you stay inside.
I gotta mow the
What if it
lawn.
is allergies?
It could
You
be
can't go
allergies.
mow?
That's right. That'll make it
Mowing.
worse.
That
huh?
would
can't
make it
do
worse,
that.
I'll
actually.
just build up an immunity to the,
Gosh.
to
There
the
you go.
pollen and stuff.
Well, we got a lot on the podcast today. I know we told you a lot for this weekend, but in the podcast, hopefully there's something else to distract from Hudson still being sick.
We talked about a lot of good stuff. We talked about foods that you didn't like as a child that you now like now.
That
I
was a
just
good
love
one.
how both of your guys' foods are just the same. If it's white and gloppy and
Yeah.
gloopy.
Yeah. If it looks gross, a lot of it's
is.
based off look and texture for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
If it looks or sounds like something I wouldn't like, I probably didn't try it.
Yep, exactly. It's
And
crazy.
I'm not that different from that now. Oddly enough.
Right. We just realized that some things that look gross and gloppy actually taste good.
So if you have something that you did not like when you were younger, but now something changed and you do like it, make sure you text, and then we can, on Monday, maybe throw you guys into the next podcast at 877-2-RADIO-U, or you can always email riot@radiou.com.
We also talked about a person who got 365 days of sick leave, and we decided how long we would be willing to go away from work and not feel bad about returning at some
And
point.
if you won that much paid leave, is that good or bad?
Yep.
Like there's
Yeah.
surprisingly some bad stuff that could possibly
That
happen.
sounds great on the surface, but people have pointed out a lot of things, a lot of pitfalls of having an entire year of paid time off.
Yeah, and at first you're so excited, but then you're right. Some of these pitfalls could be actually true.
Which is why it makes you realize why, or think about like if you have a kid what if you have like paternity leave or maternity leave? Like you feel nervous even taking that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How long is that?
Depends on the company.
I think it's sometimes like 1, 2, or 3 months. Usually 3 months.
3 months?
It can be 3 months, which
That's a
is
long
crazy. But it's not crazy. Like, it's crazy that you could have a child and you would be nervous about taking time off for that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Like, I've got a new baby, but I don't know if I want to take time off because what if
3
I
months.
come back, I don't have my job, which it would be ridiculous, but it happens.
That's a quarter of the year from my calculations.
What, are you going to have a kid now?
I'm not having
RadioU
a kid.
does not offer that much.
Let me
I don't
ask you
think.
this. Let me ask you this. Let's say I do have a kid one day, right?
Yeah.
Do I get maternity
Some
leave?
people get like the dad leave.
You
Sometimes
think I get
people.
3 months of it or no?
It depends.
What
It's-
about here at RadioU? Do I get 3 months
No,
of
definitely
maternity
not.
leave? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's not 3 months. You don't get the
Darn it.
same.
Absolutely not.
So it doesn't work.
Maybe one day the government will change that, though.
I thought it was a company by company one.
Yeah, but the government's trying, like sometimes
To
there's talk
mandate.
of like making it more standard so you don't have to feel so bad about taking it off if you do get it.
Well, I feel
Dang.
like we've turned a corner, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
I'm not having a kid
Anyone else wanna talk about
unless
our
I get 3
future?
months of maternity leave.
Or the government starts talking about puppy leave, and
Yes.
suddenly
I could've used that,
We're
for
getting
sure.
all
I'd
that.
vote for that.
Well, enjoy the podcast today. Thank you guys for listening. And if you're listening on a Friday, like we're doing the show today, we really hope you have a great weekend.
And we'll catch you next
See
time.
ya.
Bye.
Guys.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on RadioU.
I want to fill you in on the new COVID variant.
Oh, yeah, I was reading something about
I think
it.
we need to stay on top of it because,
Does it involve losing your voice and having it being more gravelly?
are you trying to say something there?
No, I'm just saying.
I feel like accusations are being made.
No accusations
and
are just.
aspersions are being cast.
Sometimes when they say there's a new variant, it's like, well, what makes that variant more different? So I was just wondering what the side effects
And
were.
it's such a coincidence that it's always the thing that the person closest to you seems to have at the moment.
Exactly.
But I have the symptoms. The new variant is they call it Arcturus. It's been found in many different countries, but it's going crazy in India right now.
Yeah.
So they seem to have a little extra expertise over there. And this is a little frightening that the symptoms that make Arcturus different are high fever.
Oh, we don't have that.
That can be with anything. Cough.
Well-
also be with anything.
You have that.
Itchy conjunctivitis. You know what that is?
The pink eye?
Pink eye.
You have that all the time.
Okay, that really
That's a sweeping
feels.
statement, isn't it?
That's quite a generalization.
You do, though.
I've had it twice in my entire life.
No, I feel
That's
like
once, if you average it out for my entire life, that's like once a decade
yes,
maybe.
that's all the time. I've never had
And I
pink
haven't
eye.
had it for months now. So I must have had the new COVID variant that just popped up now.
Back then.
Yeah, back in the fall when
That's
I had
a
pink
weird,
eye.
what a very weird section of the strain of it.
It does make it pretty clear though.
if you're the one who has it.
Yeah, if you have pink eye as an adult, like odds are you probably got COVID right now.
Because no offense, it's not too often you're getting pink eye outside of it unless
doesn't
you're
really
Hudson.
happen. It doesn't happen very often. And yes, it can happen. Pink eye can happen for other reasons, like if you wear contacts, and it just
Normal reasons that are not a big
occasionally
thing.
will come up. But that is. In this case, it is one of the telltale signs that you might have the new COVID variant. But here's the bad news. The COVID variant, Arcturus, is much easier to spread. That's what keeps out.
Probably because your eye stuff.
Yeah, I guess it could be. It could be because I'm always touching my eyes.
Always touching your eyes, always touching stuff.
But it's more susceptible to spread. But the good news is it's less severe. It's more capable of causing infection, but less likely to cause severe illness and hospitalization. So
That's
overall, I
good.
guess that's good news, but it's also more likely to cause pink eye, which
How's
is pretty
your eye
frightening.
looking?
I think my eyes always have a little bit of bloodshotness to them.
Sure, but otherwise not too
On
bad.
account of getting like 4 hours of sleep every night, so.
That's the riot variant.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
Well, everybody stay healthy. And we are just glad because Hudson's feeling better. And I don't think he really had that. But now every time anybody gets sick, it's always like, well, what do you have?
Yeah, it wasn't COVID. It's not COVID.
It's allergies, which is what everybody always says.
Yeah, that's right. But I never got pink eye, so I'm free this time.
Yep. Okay, just lay low this weekend, all right?
Off the hook.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow at RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
I don't know if you've seen this TikTok going around, Nikki, of the bug kissing guy. Have you seen that?
The bug kissing guy?
I think if based off your reaction, you haven't seen it.
Oh, and sometimes it worries me when every time he brings up TikTok, I'm like, yeah, I've seen this on my For You page.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this guy.
This one hasn't come up.
Not come up.
I think you would know if I said bug kissing guy and you saw it. You go, yeah. There's a guy here. His name is Justin. He's from Florida, so Florida man. So it explains a lot. He's invented a device that allows him to kiss, to give insects a little smooch.
A little bug kiss. It comes with a journal, so you can journal every time you've kissed a bug.
Yeah, what I want to know is, because it's got packaging and whatever, but I mean, you can just do that for yourself. I wonder if he's actually trying to sell this to people or not.
I don't know, but if you saw this guy in the park, man, you'd walk away.
Yeah, you definitely would. So how it works is it's basically like a pacifier, like a baby would have, but then he's cut out the lips of a doll, like a baby doll, and attach that to a springy thing sticking off of the pacifier.
So you're close to the bug, but it's not your lips touching it?
Yeah, exactly.
Weird.
Yeah, and they're tiny, so they're bug size, and he's got different sizes of lips that he swaps out.
We don't want to break down anybody's passion projects.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
And then in the journal, it shows him on his TikToks going through rating things. This is weird. You share your experience of kissing the bug and you journal it.
So let me see. Which ones did he kiss? He definitely did ants. He did a grasshopper. He did do a butterfly. He says he did get around a wasp. He said, wasp was scary, but thrilling was his rating of the wasp.
And the spring thing that connects the pair of lips to the almost pacifier sort of thing is a spring from a pen.
Oh, that's helpful. So now we can make it at home if we want.
You can DIY this.
Yeah, right.
So if you ever broke apart a pen and, the spring thing in it, that's what's connecting. And then you can kiss the bug this way.
I know it puts some distance from you and the bug. And the bugs that he's kissing, I guess, obviously wasp can be dangerous, but most of them are the harmless kind. Would you be too nervous to do this?
I wouldn't want to do it at all. Even if I wasn't nervous.
Why not?
Why would I want to?
I guess I just don't see the point.
You're getting down, laying down in the park ground. And
you could do this in your backyard.
I don't want to.
You got a nice big yard.
Oh, then everybody thinks and wonders.
It's private. Your yard is a sanctuary.
No, it's not.
And what you do there is private. It's between you and the bugs.
They say,
and your neighbors shouldn't be looking and peeping in on you.
They say that it helps if you sort of chirp softly in your throat as you close in to kiss, to let the bug know that you don't want to eat them, but instead you want to show affection.
Yeah, I'm sure. I just, it is problematic that he's not getting consent from the bugs. How do we know they want to be kissed?
That's true. So he's not selling this contraption?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. Who would buy it? Who would actually buy it?
It's a good question.
But he did. I mean, it is in packaging like you would see at the dollar store or something, which feels like it's where it belongs.
So he says he wants to kiss every bug, but he said that his lips are so strong and the bugs can be so small, so he didn't know how to make it solvable for him to do this goal.
I think, I don't know, crazy. A little crazy.
No, not even a little.
Yeah, but he's got something he cares about.
He's got a goal.
That's something
great.
We can all learn from, even from the crazy people.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
The United States government is issuing a warning to meat processing companies here in the U.S. They're warning them that they need to make sure they're not accidentally employing children.
Children?
Yeah.
What do they
child
count?
labor.
What do they count child labor then?
Well, I don't know if it's different from meat process. This is something I don't know. Meat processing companies probably have different rules than like a fast food place, right? Because like child labor is anything under 18.
And
but
so it's really about the hours that they're working.
the hours and what they're doing.
So listen to the lingo, though, which makes you wonder. I think it's similar to they're probably working wrong hours because they found more than 100 kids, but they're not saying what kids counts as, working overnight for slaughterhouses. Slaughterhouses. They were working dangerous equipment. You ready?
Yeah.
This gets bad, like skull splitters and bone saws. So they had 2 young people overnight. It makes it seem like, it's fine for day hours, but it's not for overnight, which is similar to like, at fast food, if you're a certain age, you can't work evening hours.
Right. I think it's a series of problems. I think it's a problem that they had kids working at a slaughterhouse in the first place. Then it's a problem they had kids working at a slaughterhouse overnight. And then it's a problem that they had kids working with dangerous equipment like skull splitters and bone saws, which when you hear that kind of term used for meat processing, it's almost enough to make even, I think, the hardest
Not want meat?
carnivore wonder, do I still want to eat meat?
So there's been a ton of like your favorite places you like to eat. A lot of them are involved in child labor law problems right now because when it was so hard to find workers, they went to hiring younger workers, making them work hours they were not supposed to. So this is not just in slaughterhouses.
Yeah.
This is in a lot of places.
But slaughterhouse is definitely one of the worst places, it feels like.
They say the Labor Department has reported a 69% increase in the number of children being employed doing illegal things than previous.
And it is like they keep using the words children, kids, which is technically true for people under 18. But you have to imagine this is like 16, 17, 18-year-olds.
That.
It's not like 3 7-year-olds in a trench coat walking in asking for a job at the slaughterhouse, and they're getting fooled that way. It's probably, kids that are teenagers that are able to work elsewhere. It's just the between the hours and the stuff they're working with and where they're working. That's what makes it problematic.
So they're doing inquiries and investigations into this. There's a penalty for violation. They want to increase it because they say this amount is not enough for big companies to not try to get away with this. The current maximum fine is $15,138 per child found in violation.
It is crazy, though. Over 100 kids doing meat processing. It's wild to think about.
I think that pays. It must be a lot, because then why wouldn't you just work the wrong hours at like Wendy's or something?
Yeah, you're right.
So it must be a lot of money.
And it's got to be, I don't think it's probably easy work either.
No.
What kind
Physically, it's hard.
I just can't picture 16-year-old me going, of all the options of jobs, I think I want to do meat. I want to work with a skull splitter.
And it looks like we're looking at you, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
For having some of the most violations.
Well
there.
done. Well done.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
We have a person who just was awarded 365 days of paid leave from their company.
Like as a contest?
Yeah.
Like a lottery?
A raffle.
Wow.
1 entire year, this woman is going to get paid time off from her company. The company is unnamed. The woman, we just know her as Miss Chen. And apparently the reason the company did this is because they used to have their annual, meeting, whatever, but they haven't been able to have it for like 3 years because of COVID. So they finally were able to have it again, and they wanted to make sure that all the employees were feeling good, having a good time. They came up with a lot of fun stuff, like fun punishments that weren't really, like having to be the waiter or waitress for your other employees, or drinking this is in quotes, special homemade drink. I don't know about that one.
Boy, I'll take the year of paid leave.
Yeah, that was the kind of punishments you could get, or you could get some pretty big prizes like 365 days of paid leave. But now people are kind of questioning, like, if you are this woman, can you even take the 365 days of paid leave?
Well, I mean, at first it's like, so yeah, it has to be the entire year because I was like, well, you can use some now and some next year, then it doesn't really work. Or
Yeah,
can you
does it
space
roll
it out?
over?
I don't know.
I think it's got to be one consecutive, you'd think, right?
But then everybody would hate you because your position is there, but you can't use it. Like you're not working from home. You don't have to do anything.
Oh, you for sure aren't joining the job back afterwards.
Oh, but then they can't fire you because of that.
Yeah, but you're just leaving. There's no way. If I wasn't here for a year, you guys would just realize we don't need Isaiah.
Yeah, that's
Like, that's what would happen. You'd be like, actually, we don't need to pay this guy anymore because he clearly wasn't that prevalent in the workforce.
Life went on.
Yeah.
In fact, we had an even better year without him.
Exactly. Like, you would just find someone to do what I was doing previously.
You
But
definitely.
if you can save them and they roll over to different years, then
Well, yeah,
are they
of
going to
course.
limit like, okay, this year you can only use 100, something like that. So you're still working a little.
That's, I mean, that'd definitely be ideal. But think about this. Let's say you do take the 365 days off. You come back a year later. Obviously, all the other employees probably hate you. But you know what you like?
Your boss hates you too. Everybody hates you.
Well, then he shouldn't have given me 365 days paid off. That's a him problem, right?
Well, I mean, maybe it isn't your direct boss that did that, It could have been the company, I assume.
You got to complain to HR.
Well, it doesn't
Say, I
matter.
think I'm
Either way,
being-
everybody hates you.
Then you're not there to complain. So
Yeah.
you're not coming in. They say others could feel this would be more like a trap because when you do come back, your job would not be yours. Someone else had to do your job while you were gone.
Yeah.
So you'd have to deal with that. And they said for others, you could miss out on potential bonuses or promotion during the year that you were not there to show that you're doing your work. So you would be getting paid, yes, but you're losing out on possibly a whole year of your career.
You're for sure never getting a raise. Like, you're never, they've already given you, you're the girl that got 365 days off. You think they're going to be like, yeah, let's give her a raise too after a year later.
Well, she
No, you already
deserves
had your bonus. Like, you're good for a while.
Yeah, I don't know if I sound more trusting of the company. I just think if somebody gives you 300, it's like if somebody gives you a 10 million to 1 on a bet, you just take it. You give them $1 and say, I'll take it in case something happens.
Maybe this is like, okay, if you win on Price is Right, you say you want a car, you have to pay a huge tax on the car in order to have it. So it's not technically free. Or you could take the money. What if this company...
Some companies do that, right?
They put a dollar value to the days off. And instead, what if you could take the money for 365 days off?
That's a good idea.
And then that way
now
you're not...
thinking.
Yeah, you're not losing the momentum
Or-
with your job.
See, this is what I was thinking, and maybe this could be an amalgamation of Nikki and I's ideas, because I was thinking you take those 365 days off, and then you have 365 days paid, full pay, to look for a new job.
I was going to say that too. You just start working somewhere else and you never return.
That's a fantastic idea.
And if you have if that's banked vacation time, they should still have to pay. I don't know how it is in China, but a lot of places have to pay that to you.
Yeah.
So you could really double screw the company because you could be like, I quit and pay, so pay me all that, and I'm looking for another job.
you take some time off, but go ahead and work another job while you're still at the other company.
That's right.
Yeah,
There's so
smart.
many ways. Either way, 365 days off, we're going to figure out a way to use it.
We need a raffle here at RadioU like that. I mean, I'd have like a 1 in 5 chance of winning.
Sometimes I feel like maybe everybody would
giving
want
the
me to
whole
win,
year.
though.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
The NBA playoffs are almost finally about to start.
I don't believe you guys because every morning you come in and you're like
Yeah.
the play-ins, the play-outs.
Well,
when's the playoffs?
Tomorrow starts the actual playoffs.
How long does it last?
Forever.
Months. What month are we in? April? It's not done till like June.
July, I think.
It's like late June, early July.
Like July 4th is probably, I think it'll be done by July 4th.
Yeah, I think it's the very end of June.
Which
is when it
July
ends.
4th feels so far away from now.
Do you feel like that lessens the impact of the playoffs? Because I understand, like you have to make your way to having 2 final teams, but it does feel a bit ridiculous.
It is a long time. I think it depends how invested you are. Like the Cavs are in the playoffs, my team, and I'm so excited. I want it to last forever.
Don't worry, it won't.
Yeah. It is, it's a give and take. What's frustrating about it to me is the playoffs go on so long, and it's like, it could be shorter because look at this. Like, I'm just looking at, for example, the Milwaukee Bucks. We don't know who they're playing yet because they play the winner of the play-in tonight. But game 1 is on Sunday. Then they don't play again till Wednesday. Both games are in Milwaukee. They don't have to travel or anything.
So they're staying there for the week?
Then they next play on Saturday.
In the same place?
Yeah, no, that'll be on the road. But that's just like why space those games out so much. I think it's because the NBA doesn't want to load up too many. Like they don't want to have too many games all in one night, so they cancel each other out where you can't
And
watch
like
them all.
3 games in a week is pretty standard for the NBA timeline, you know?
But it's just kind of it's just egregious.
But remember, these aren't poor players and teams, so I'm sure you take the jet back, you go back and forth. You're not stuck there where like we'd be like, well, we're at the hotel again.
Yeah.
Who wants to go swim?
Yeah, it's there's a game for Boston and Atlanta. They play Tuesday night, and then they travel to Atlanta to play on Friday. It's like they have to hike the Appalachian Trail to get between it. They have a lot of time off. They can do so much in between.
If they just move the games, a little less downtime in between.
Yeah, that's why it takes so long. But here's what I want to know from you two is give me a surprise, a first-round surprise that you think will happen. You're going to predict a surprise.
My little
Nikki, you
surprise.
I don't want to go first. You'd be surprised if I knew the team.
I would.
The
Yeah,
first round
definitely.
surprise, she's like, who's in it?
Who's in it?
Who's in the first round?
We were surprised. I thought the Browns were, or not the Browns, but the
Cavaliers. My Cleveland Cavaliers, baby.
I thought they were going to go in.
Yes.
So that was good.
I'm glad that the Cavs made it. I'm super ecstatic. I think that they will win. That would not be my surprise. I would be surprised if they lost. If the Cavs lose the series, I will be so
Yeah.
sad.
You're so
Okay.
hopeful. It's
I
so
will
nice.
be so sad. But if I had to pick a surprise team to win, which this is going to be a weird one, but the Sacramento Kings play the Golden State Warriors in the first round. The Warriors are favored in that series. I think Sacramento is going to win.
You do.
I think they're going to win the series.
Why?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Because the Warriors are so bad on the road, and I think Sacramento, they've been so good the whole year. Even though they're a young team and they're super slept on, I think that in the playoffs, De'Aaron Fox, I think he's going to be good.
does that even count as being on the road though? They're like an hour from each other.
Yeah, but the Warriors are just bad on the road. They have one of the worst records in the whole league.
I think the Warriors are going to be fine. I mean, that might come back to bite them later, but I don't think.
But do you want a surprise or not, Hudson?
Yeah,
all right?
it's a
I picked a
surprise.
surprise.
You're
all
right.
right.
I guess it's
What do
crazy
you want me to
for
say?
All right, fine. Well,
Hudson's like, no, that for sure
here's-
won't happen. What's a surprise?
I'm just.
I'd be surprised too.
Yeah. All right.
No arguing.
All right. Now you see if you agree or disagree with my surprise. I think that the Grizzlies will not just beat the Lakers. I think they will handle them semi-easily.
Okay.
I think that, I mean, if you look at the odds for that one, the Lakers, by the time it's actually they've played the first game, the Lakers might be favored for the series.
Yeah, it's pretty close. It's even odds. Grizzlies right now are minus 142, so pretty even.
Yeah, pretty even. I think
So does that count as a surprise then?
I think it's not going to be surprising for some people, especially a casual fan. Surprising that the Lakers and LeBron would lose in the first round.
Yes.
Even more surprising if it goes pretty quick, if it's like 5 or 6 games and it's not really all that close. I think the Grizzlies are not going to have too tough of a time. I think there's a reason the Lakers are a 7th seed. They're not very good.
I saw something yesterday like, why aren't they better?
Yeah, that's
Why aren't
right.
the Lakers doing better?
It is. I mean, it's kind of sad that they're going to lose, but they're going to lose. It's the
Playoff LeBron.
So we have basketball stuff till July.
Yeah,
All right.
every week.
Great.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
All right, we're opening up the Riot text line.
877-2-RADIO-U.
We need a snappier name. Also, the Riot text line is always open.
Yeah, sure.
That's just what I say before we play that little snappy thing that tells you to text in, because I want to find out. Isaiah and I realized we had something in common yesterday, and I want to see if we're the only two people that are. Is this crazy or is it normal? But we realized how many foods we got a good half dozen foods that we were afraid to eat when we were kids or thought we didn't like.
Yeah.
And then we grew up.
And now you like 'em?
In your 20s, you realize, oh, this is actually good. So, Isaiah, do you remember what the foods were?
The ones we talked about yesterday?
Yeah.
We talked about cream cheese.
Cream cheese is one.
You didn't like that when you were a kid?
I was
try-
scared of it.
I don't think I had cream cheese until like 3 years ago.
Same.
I swear to you.
Cottage cheese, I could see. But
That was
not-
another
that
one.
was another one we
That was
said.
another one. But we haven't come around on it unless it's mixed in with stuff.
Like if it's in
I see.
lasagna, my mom always says she
Right.
makes it in her lasagna. And I'm okay with that because I like lasagna. But if
Yeah.
it was just sitting in front of me, I'd be like,
No.
Yeah,
No
I know
shot,
that's a
right?
diet food that you're supposed to eat, and I just eat spoonfuls of it, and
We're
I
not
can't do
able
that.
to.
I
And
haven't
then-
gotten that far yet. I
Because the
haven't
new
grown up that
trend
much.
now is to make ice cream out of cottage cheese.
really?
Yeah,
See,
like
I
that's
think
a
Another
big
thing I'd be afraid of.
Yeah, I don't think I've grown up enough for that.
Okay,
So-
so you got cream cheese.
Yes, the opposite of a diet food, sour cream.
Yeah.
Another
Same thing.
one that I was afraid of for the longest time, and now it's like, if I'm eating that, that's like me being bad. Like, I'm like really being bad.
Do you remember, and this would be interesting for any of the foods that we come up with, but for sour cream, I have what I think is what convinced me once I grew up, what convinced me that I should like it
Yeah.
in the moment. And I think what convinced me is the cheesy Fiesta potatoes
What?
at Taco Bell.
Really?
They have sour cream on them. And I was like, well, if it's good on that, maybe
Then-
it's good on other stuff.
That's how you grew up?
and that's what made me grow up. Yeah.
Wow.
Mine was mac and cheese bites. With,
Mac and cheese bites?
Because they come with like a side at certain restaurants. They comes with a side of sour cream, and I was like, well, whatever. I'll like try it. And I was like, this is really bad. Mac and cheese bites and sour cream. I'm like, I'm clearly not dieting right now. This is a delicacy.
But
Yeah.
okay, but you love it now.
Love it now.
Right,
Love
but
it
wouldn't
now.
eat it as like not just a kid, like until like sometime in college at least is when I would start eating sour cream at the very earliest.
Okay.
I think it was later than that. We also said salsa.
Salsa.
Salsa. Never would eat
Why
salsa
are
as
you
a
guys
kid.
so afraid of all the side stuff?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I think
I was
what-
afraid of it.
Like sour cream, cream cheese, they all have like mayonnaise for me. I would not eat mayonnaise. I was
still
younger when
won't.
I started with mayonnaise, but it's like the white dairy stuff.
It's weird.
It's creepy. It's weird. So are we the only ones? I think we probably have a few more foods like this.
I've got a couple more.
But if you text in a food that you were like afraid of or didn't realize you liked until you were embarrassingly old.
Well, why don't you give me a second? We'll see what people say, and then you guys can unveil the rest of your list.
Yeah.
I just want to see what's on there.
Text in the Riot text line at 8772 Radio U.
Hang on, Hudson. There it is.
8772 Radio U.
And let us know the foods you were afraid of until you got old enough to try them.
So you have to like it now.
Right.
Your For You page would be a lot more fun if it had Hudson, Nikki, and Isaiah. Follow at Radio U Official on TikTok. The Riot. Radio U.
The question basically is, I think this is a good way to put it. Foods that if your mom gave it to you when you were a kid, if she served it at dinner, you'd be like, no thanks. But now as an adult or like after you've grown up, you've realized
You're like-
actually it's really good.
You're like, please, Mom, will you give it to me?
Yeah, right. I was wrong on this one, Mom. So Isaiah and I agreed. Cream cheese, sour cream, and salsa were three that we came up with yesterday. And then I thought of another one we agreed on, which is cheesecake.
Ooh,
Cheesecake,
oh,
which
that
is
scared
Crazy,
you?
right?
Yes, it did. I was afraid of cheesecake. Now it's like one of my favorite desserts.
You
Yeah.
really were scared of all the dairy stuff.
know.
I know, but it was cream cheese. I knew it was cream cheese, and just I don't know the word. Even though I would eat actual cheese, the word cheese in other scenarios scared me when I was a child.
I got a lot of choices. You ready to go through some?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Brittany says bell peppers. Didn't eat
Yes.
them till much older. We all agree on that one.
Yep.
Jay said sushi, and now it's one of the favorites. That has been brought up a lot.
I'm still afraid of sushi.
See, I love
tried
sushi
it?
now.
Yeah?
I tried it about a year ago, and I love it.
You sound so proud.
Maybe. Yeah,
I know. I get conned into trying
Hudson,
it.
all you do is you get the California roll. That's all people get.
What is that? What is actually
It's
is
like
it?
the imitation crab and the cream cheese stuff.
You
But
would
it's-
like it.
But it's cold though. I don't know.
I'm super picky, and I think it tastes good, so I
Yeah,
think
but
you would be fine.
I think I said this before. I don't like cold stuff.
cold dairy.
Yeah, because I don't like deli. Like if I get a sandwich or whatever, like
Yeah.
a deli sandwich, like
You
a,
don't like
like a
deli
ham
meat?
sandwich, I have to warm it up. I don't like the cold. I don't like cold.
but you would eat
cheese.
it cold, though.
I guess if I didn't want to be
You
embarrassed,
couldn't eat a ham sandwich.
Well,
I could, but I wouldn't choose. I would never choose
Yeah.
that.
hang on. There's a long list, guys.
Okay, yeah,
so
let's keep going.
We don't need to convince.
Anyways, I've never had sushi. I'm still afraid.
We're not convincing anybody with this. If we don't still like it, don't feel bad. Brian says yogurt.
Yogurt.
that makes
Enjoy
sense.
it now.
That makes sense.
Unless it was like the strawberry or the strawberry banana one when you got when you were
Yeah,
a
like
kid.
yeah.
Let's see. Carl had a problem with pork chops when in younger. Couldn't eat until high school. Alex said I could probably eat a whole block of cream cheese right now, but
Yes.
that was a worrisome one when younger.
Yes.
Jesse chose pineapple. How could
That's
you not
for
like,
me, too.
You didn't like pineapple?
Pineapple's like one of my top 3 fruit now, but I was afraid of it before.
See, I feel like
Texture or what?
Texture and look.
I feel like I was afraid of it as a kid, but now I know enough to know that I know I don't like it. Like I've tried it. It's not one of those things that I'm afraid to eat. I've tried it. And so I know I don't like it.
So Arthur said, good
Different.
morning. Eggplant Parmesan. No, then, yes, now. Brandon, this one I totally agree with. Avocado. Like when you were a kid, until avocado toast became popular,
Yep.
I don't think any of us liked avocado.
That was another one for me. I was going to say guacamole. That was one for me as well.
I still haven't come around on that either.
Wow, you still have some time
I don't like
to grow.
the look of it. Don't like the look of it.
Max also said sushi. Grace said mayonnaise, mayo, yeah. Ketchup. That's a weird one. That's all
It
we
is.
ate. Asparagus, Brussels sprouts,
Asparagus,
salmon.
another one of mine.
Salmon.
You guys are stealing all of mine.
Salmon, that was one of mine.
That's the nervous one.
I would have been nervous about salmon, and I just told Isaiah the other day that I don't order salmon at restaurants because a lot of times it comes with asparagus.
And you don't like it?
And I don't want the asparagus, and it's embarrassing to ask the waiter to swap it out.
Kim
For
also
apple slices instead.
that makes you really look young. Kim says asparagus and Brussels sprouts. Sarah says medium rare steak. That was so true because when you were really young, if it was super pink, that made you even rare.
That's actually a good point. At first, I was questioning on that, but you're right.
It was
if it was
nervous.
bloody or something.
Really? My dad forced me to do that. He's like, you have to eat this to be a man.
And then sushi as well. Both looked gross as a kid, but now two of my favorite things.
I have one more for myself that's really pathetic, I feel, and that is strawberries.
Strawberries?
are so
Pathetic.
good. It's
That's
so
so
good.
pathetic.
Why didn't I want them when I was a kid? I was just afraid of all vegetables and fruit pretty much.
Well,
Strawberries? That's wild. I can't believe that was one
We
of
did
yours.
have somebody that said ketchup,
I know. I'm just saying. That's crazy.
but they're not in the room with us right now.
Yeah.
So if you have any options you want to throw in there, otherwise you got a lot of choices right there, guys.
bunch.
Of things
Yeah.
that we did not like as kids, but now you would eat.
But I'm glad to know that we're not crazy on this, though.
Yeah, my final ones are, this one's going to hurt our engineer Chris's heart, biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
I was afraid of biscuits and gravy until I was in college. I was so
That's
afraid of
insane.
it. And then the other one, another thing that I came around to in college was spinach as well. That was one that I like in spinach and salads and stuff. But before that, if you had said the word spinach, I would have just said no.
No to it.
Yeah, I think I'm still. You know what? I'll have a spinach artichoke dip. I won't be excited about it.
You know, we normally make fun of Isaiah for his food limitations, but now it feels like you're
It's
the one
Hudson.
that still has some hesitancies.
I know, it is.
towards
It's like you
these.
have some child trauma that we're just not ready to conquer.
Yeah,
yet.
I'm still. I just feel like I felt like I was exposed to a lot that my parents tried to get me to eat when I was a kid, and so then when I was a kid, I decided I didn't like it. But now I'm realizing maybe I haven't come back to try a lot of stuff as an adult. But I've made it this far and I've been just fine.
You're still
at
good?
the same time. So
I think I only have one that I was afraid of. And I don't know if anybody else was like this, but someone once told me if you choked on peanut butter, there's no way to save you and you would die.
Oh my gosh.
So I didn't grow up eating a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
What?
Like a lot of other kids because I was afraid I would die. And to this day, I add way more jelly than peanut butter. If I'm having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, it impacted me.
For the rest of her life, the childhood trauma.
Yeah, that was
Nikki's like,
wild.
I can't eat
Crazy.
this. It's kind of life-threatening.
yeah, because you hear all those people that died choking on peanut butter
I
that
know.
weren't allergic to it.
And it's not like I choked on it. I just heard one. Someone scared me.
What else do you still believe from your childhood?
I don't know.
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U.
There's a little debate going on in the city of Boston that's kind of spilled out into the rest of the country about what people have different names for them, but the little tiny liquor bottles.
Oh, yeah.
Some call them, I always called them travel size or air. Yeah.
Well, like you would see people on airlines.
That's right. Travel size or airplane size, but some people call them minis. Some people call them shooters. Nips, I think is what they call. So
I never realized that they were sold at gas stations.
yeah.
But it became controversial last year because what is it, Fireball ones?
Uh-huh.
They were saying that Fireball,
That's right.
big bottles have certain alcohol with it or a certain claim or whiskey. It was
Right.
at the-
Percentages or whatever.
Yeah, I was saying whiskey's in a big Fireball bottle, but in the minis, I don't think it actually has whiskey in it.
Yeah, I remember they were getting sued for some reason about it. I don't remember exactly what it was.
So
but-
sometimes a little mini bottle, they say the advertising will be the same, but it's not the same thing.
It's not exactly the same product. That's right. Well, the debate in Boston is that there are some lawmakers there that are trying to ban the 99, I guess maybe they used to be, or sometimes they are, but typically they're 99 cents, right? Those little tiny liquor bottles, they're trying to ban those from being sold in Boston.
For the same reason the Fireball stuff, or for something else?
Completely different. They actually have an interesting case laid out. So this is why it's a good debate, because it, like, maybe on the face, especially if you're somebody who drinks, you'd be like, well, why would they ban those? It's just alcohol, so why is it a big deal? A couple things. One is not even about the drinking at all. It's about the environment. Those little bottles are easy for people to just chuck away, and as in like just litter with them. And they aren't recyclable.
Oh.
So they are not necessary. And
I like how they don't care about your health, but
right. Well, no, that's just one of them that has nothing to do with drinking.
What in the world?
it's about recycling.
This is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Well, I think that
if we banned everything that wasn't recyclable, that would
that's a
be
good
wild.
point. But it is a lot of, I guess the thinking is it's a lot of plastic per, like when you're making a bunch of those versus if you're making big bottles, then it's just one big bottle that can't be recycled for the same amount of alcohol as if you make, I don't know how many of those take up to make a big
Crazy.
bottle.
It's like if cheese sticks weren't recyclable, they'd be like, well, you're going to have to buy one big block of cheese. You can't have the little ones.
It's not just recycling. They
yeah,
say
that's
that
not it.
because there's so little that a lot of people just throw them out of their car.
Yeah.
And so they tend to not, actually throw them away properly.
Right.
Got it.
And part of the reason that they throw them out of the car is because they're so tiny, it makes it easy to obviously drink really quickly, but then like people are drinking and driving with them. And then, like, if they see a police around, or like, they throw it out so they get rid of the evidence type thing. And they're easy to, like, hide in your pocket, or, like, just they make it a little more accessible to drink and drive and feel like you can get away with it. And on top of that, and this is probably the biggest thing, is that they think that because they're so cheap, that it contributes to alcohol abuse more so than the bigger bottles. Because you think about it, if you're a type of person that you really want to drink, and maybe you have a little bit of an addiction to it, but you don't have a lot of money, it makes it easier to spend 99 cents a couple times and drink a bunch of those versus going with the full like $15 you'd have to pay to buy like a bigger bottle.
Well, they also say because they're at the front register, then some people even steal them easier. But they also, like, if you don't want to go to the hard liquor area, and if you're more embarrassed to do that, they say with the front small bottles, they're not. So if they have a problem with it, it continues it.
So it sounds like you're not in favor of banning it, Isaiah.
I just don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
I don't know.
The convenience of them is the issue.
Oh, yeah.
But that's also
Right.
the pro of them as well.
That's what they were saying. I don't know. Like, I was at, where was I? On Friday, I was at a doctor's office, and outside the car next to me when I pulled in, in their drink holder, it wasn't a White Claw, but it was like a White Claw company, like a seltzer.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, like,
What in the world?
And then I couldn't tell because sometimes seltzer companies make not like I just
energy drinks and stuff like that. They look similar.
Yeah.
But I don't think so.
You're like, but oddly enough, it didn't look like an energy drink.
Like, I think they had a bottle of something in there. And so, I was like, a lot of the stuff that is being pushed so much right now, like, you don't know what it is.
Yeah, it is. It would be.
It's too convenient.
It probably used to be so easy for cops to pull people over and just be like, oh, that's a beer. You have a glass bottle of beer in your thing. But now there's like the 0%, like the Heineken or whatever, that is the 0% beer. You still have to have, I feel like, you got to have a lot of cojones to be able to just grab a non-alcoholic beer
and drink it in
just
front.
drink it while you're driving. It feels like you're taking a big risk with that.
Well, everybody's like the companies, they make it's the White Claw energy drink, and you just don't know. So they say that for some, that makes it very hard for them to say no to it because now it's just way more accessible in even tiny bottles.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a whole lot that goes into the debate. We really only presented the side against the 99-cent liquor bottles, but there's also some good, decent arguments, I think, for keeping them around, or why
they wouldn't ban it.
Right, why they wouldn't be worse than why ban those only and not all alcohol, which nobody would ever do in this day and age. So I don't know. It's an interesting debate.
The little ones, it's just the little baby ones, just a tiny little bit.
That's what everybody says.
That's
when
right.
there's a problem.
That's exactly.
Some people call them shooters, nibs. I call them not enough.
You call
baby
them
ones.
baby bottles.
Oh, that would be the worst you could do.
The words too expensive aren't in Nikki's vocabulary. This is The Riot. RadioU.
Ah, yes. It is our Friday tradition looking ahead to what you can watch at theaters and at home over the weekend.
I feel like I'm in some sort of old retro commercial.
Yeah.
For like AMC.
Like maybe
the
we're
mall.
I was thinking we're walking the red carpet for a premiere and the popcorn's popping in the background.
No, every time I watch those Dead Mall series stuff, it's always this sound.
So here's what we got for this weekend. There's not much new on streaming that I've seen that looks anything
Promising.
meaningful. But there is a lot, and I don't understand if there's some reason for this. There's a lot of horror movies. Like every movie out this weekend is like a scary movie.
I wonder if that's traditionally something about this time before like the summer blockbuster stuff happens.
I don't know. That's right. I feel like there's usually like a winter, like a January, February horror movie that comes out. But this week, I'll tell you what definitely is a tradition for this time of year, and that is a movie that stars Nicolas Cage that and nobody would watch otherwise except that Nicolas Cage is in it. And that's exactly what Renfield feels like to me.
This one's finally coming out. It's been promoted for a long time.
Yes.
It's the Dracula one.
That's right. Nicolas Cage is Dracula. And then there's the other guy whose name escapes me, but you recognize him. And he is like, he's the caretaker for Dracula, getting him all of his victims. But it's like a comedy horror type situation. It looks like it's okay. For example, Rotten Tomatoes has it at a 63%. It looks worth watching, maybe.
I was more interested in it, but I thought it would have a better score. So that might be one of those wait and watch ones later.
Yeah.
Because it seems funny, but you just never know. Sometimes they put all the funny in the trailer, and there's nothing left.
And it definitely feels, again, like, I mean, obviously the movie is what the movie is, but I feel like you swap almost anybody else out for Nicolas Cage. If they didn't have him in it, it feels like a movie that would be very easy to ignore without seeing it, of course. So that's one option. Another option that's a more serious horror take is The Pope's Exorcist.
With, the one guy, the gladiator guy, Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe is the star.
They said people are mad because there's too much when the Exorcist stuff happens, that it's like too splatter.
Oh, really?
That's what they've been saying.
I haven't heard that.
They said that it's a bit too much.
Over the top.
Yeah,
huh?
over the top.
That one doesn't have as good reviews. That's only at 53% so far. So that's also an option for you if you want a more serious take on some horror. Then there's also this one, it's going to get, people are going to get excited about because it's an A24 movie from Ari Aster, who did Midsummer and Hereditary, which people that like those, especially Hereditary, really like it. And those are the type of movies that'll mess you up, apparently, although I haven't been man enough to go see them yet. But his new movie is called Beau is Afraid, starring Joaquin Phoenix. And it once again looks like the type of movie that's like a horror movie, but more like psychological.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
That is the worst.
So who knows what happens to that? But that's a 77% on Rotten Tomatoes. There's also, here's the one that's a total switch, totally different. It's called Sweetwater.
Yeah.
That's a movie about the first ever African-American player to get a contract in the NBA. Problem is that has horrible reviews. 13% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, don't focus on that.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And then one last option for you that's also a horror movie is Oregon Trail.
What's that? Oh,
it's a horror movie about being on the Oregon Trail.
Really? I haven't seen anything on that.
But it's not specifically based on the video game, which is of course based off of real life events, the computer game from back in the day. But it still plays out a similar story. So those are all options for you. So last question, Nikki. I'm going to guess
you forgot the Mafia Mama one.
What's that?
That's the you haven't seen the ads?
Yes, you're right. I don't know how I missed that.
I have seen
the
so
Toni
many
Collette.
ads. Yes.
And do you think that'll be good?
No, I don't.
No, I saw the preview for that and I was like, this looks like the stupidest movie of all time.
But they've been pushing it hard.
That's right. I remember seeing the preview for that in theaters before something else, and I was like, oh my gosh.
I thought you were going to joke and the most horror movie of them all is that one.
That might be the most horrifying. Man, actually, there's so many other questions I want to ask because, Mario Brothers is still going to be number one in the box office,
It
right?
will, obviously.
What do you think will be next?
Maybe still John Wick or Renfield.
Before all these other ones.
Before all these other ones.
Man, now that's a big in time. Do you have anything you're planning on watching?
I still need to watch John Wick. I'm tempted tonight. I was tempted for Renfield, but it's just too low of numbers for me to commit to the time.
Yeah.
But if I did, it would be either of those.
I think what I'm committing to watching is two things. 80 for Brady is now on Paramount Plus.
Please don't.
And I really want to watch Beef on Netflix. It's not a movie, but
TV, the show.
Everybody's been talking about that. That looks like it'd be up my alley. So that's your weekend watch list.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
This is crazy. Or is it? I have a guy here who has spent over $170,000 on surgery to make himself 5 inches taller.
Oh, to extend his legs?
Yeah, the leg extending surgery. This guy, his name is Moses Gibson. He's 41. He's from Minnesota. He started off at 5 feet 5 inches.
That was his starting height?
That was his starting height. That's pretty short.
That's not that bad. Well, no, that's not that bad. Wait, what? 5'4"?
5'5".
5'5"? To have all these surgeries, that's not the
Nikki,
worst.
5'5" is
That's real short.
For a guy?
That's very short for a guy.
Well,
That's
all right.
real short.
That's like a good 4 inches, probably at least shorter than Isaiah and I.
5, Hudson.
Yeah, right.
Don't miss it.
I think we're probably generous with our heights, but so it might not be as
are
bad.
all of
But
men.
you know what? He probably was too. So
He probably isn't 5'5". He was probably 5'3".
yeah. But
Well, I thought you were going to tell me he's like 4'8" or 4'9" or something.
well, then would that even be news? Because then it'd be like him, like of course. But at 5'5", that's right at the spot where it's super short, but it's also questionable if this is really worth it. So this is what's crazy. To me, or one of the crazy things about it, is that he initially got a surgery back in 2016. So that gave him about 3 inches. That was 700.
Whoa. This is his second time around?
So yeah, he just now had a second surgery to add 2 or up to 3 more inches as well. He's still in the process because how it works is they like break your bone kind of in your leg.
Oh, they have to wait for it to heal.
And then you have like a stretching thing that you have to use to stretch the bone out slowly and surely, and your bone grows together, and like all of the rest of your legs go with it. Mm-hmm. And so this is now the second time that he's gotten the surgery. So best case scenario,
so what's he
when
at
he
then?
finally fills out, it could be 5'11" if he's really lucky.
Wow, all that.
Yeah, to be like slightly above average.
So they said that he struggles to get a girlfriend because of being 5'5". He's tried medicine, a spiritual healer, a bunch of stuff. And they said that he was unhappy about it and it was his self-confidence. So he decided to have all these surgeries.
Yeah, he said he was struggling a lot to get dates. And so he did go with the medicine at first, like the pills online, miracle pills, and then a spiritual healer that tried to convince him that if you just think the right thing,
he'll grow taller.
You'll grow. And so the first thing I thought was, after those two things didn't work, wouldn't he be a little nervous to shell out another $75,000 on a surgery? What if the surgery didn't work either?
Well, the surgery would be more guaranteed to do at least something.
Yeah.
So in 2016, he became 5'8" with the first procedure, and now he's gone through the other.
He worked as a software engineer by day and an Uber driver by night to save up all the money. And he was able to save up all that money and work all that time because he wasn't getting any dates.
Well, he was using,
Right.
I mean, this was important to him.
Yeah.
I understand, Moses. It's okay. I mean, he's officially earned the title like Short King because he's put the work in. You know, I mean, he's not giving up. He's going through breaking bones and surgery just to be a little bit taller. Not even to be tall. Not even just to be average. I mean, literally just to be average. But good for him.
But now that he's at 5'11", he's not a short king. He's fine. It's
Yeah.
okay.
He's good now.
He's a
That's all
regular
right.
king. It says he has a girlfriend now.
Oh,
It
once,
worked.
Once he went through all this, it says it gave him the confidence to start talking to women. And so that's really what it was all about. Now, I do have a concern. The pictures of him when you don't see his legs all chopped up, he looks fine. But, you still, like, if you start off at 5'5" and you lengthen your legs, the rest of your body is still a 5'5" body, though. Mm-hmm. Isn't that a little concerning?
yeah, everything else would be misproportioned.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm worried about for him.
Hudson, he just was trying to fix this, all right? He can have more surgeries
He
later.
needs to get arm lengthening and torso lengthening surgery as well, is what I think.
I'm sure you probably can't notice. Some people look extra long in the legs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'll be fine. I I think all short kings, you're fine. I think you're okay. I think the confidence was the real issue here. I mean, think of all the dudes that are super ugly that have really, really attractive girlfriends.
That's
Those
right.
are confident guys.
Well, they're tall.
And-
Exactly. They're tall. They might be ugly, but goodness gracious, they're confident. And so if you have the confidence, that's the key. You'll be fine.
You know what those other guys, a lot of them have too, is money.
Yeah.
Money.
And this guy would have money if he didn't spend it all on his leg lengthening surgery.
Oh, well, we have to love ourselves no matter what our height is. But for him, he felt like this was important. So that's why he's gone through all these surgeries.
Did you see that the British National Health Service recommends not doing this?
Yeah, I bet.
Probably. I mean,
They say it leads to poor bone formation, bone lengthening at an inappropriate rate, and fractures and blood clots. So was it really worth it, Moses?
You also shouldn't
was
take
for him.
the spam pills that you find online that would promise you to grow
That's
taller.
right.
I'm
That's
surprised
also
the
ill-advised.
meditation or spirit healing didn't work. I really was hoping for
I
that
feel like
one.
he could have done that to get confidence.
Yeah,
don't
you would have
think?
thought.
Try that first.
That's enough of that. For more Riot content, head to riot.radiou.com.